This is not going to be
This is not going to be fun for you.
Don't blink. From the red corner, Robertson MMA South Australia loves being in the cage. Competitive, fierce, aggressive striker. Please welcome from the red corner, Gary Smith.
Don't let Gary's record of 0-2 fool you. He has
That's a
fought
good time to clap, folks. I know you don't know
men.
if it don't matter, just clap anyway.
He fought at Miles against Reece Smith in an absolute battle, and then last DFC had the absolute privilege of the highlight of little Grando parachute getting there. He's 39 years old, fighting out of Robertson MMA. He's been doing martial arts for over 20 years. Mike has got a history of freestyle karate, judo and boxing. This guy has heavy hands. He won the state title as a heavyweight boxer in 2005. 4-1 boxing record. Represented Australia in the World Stick Fighting Championships. You name the martial art, he's done it. He holds a blue belt in BJJ. Cornered by Kim Robertson and Stan Werner. He's a national silver medal in judo as heavyweight. And Michael, this is going to be more Bad Boys 2 than Transformers 2.
Yeah, I mean, oh Lord, that's it. Yep. All right. So, I mean, I think the thing that excites me most about Gary is the untapped potential that we've seen. I know Gary is a solid unit. I think people are overlooking him a little bit here because they look at the fight he had with Brando, they know the fight that he had against Reece, and they're like, oh, well, you know, what's this guy actually got? But the dude is legit. He's legit. He's trained for a lot of years. He's a heavy, solid unit.
He is by far one of the toughest human beings I've ever seen in my life. His fight against Reece Smith, Reece broke his shin on his thigh. Reece hit over 40 leg kicks on his left leg, and Gary kept standing right there, kept coming forward, kept swinging. He did not go down. He absorbed every single one of these, bit down his mouth guard and swung for the fences. And he lasted 3 rounds and he did not gas. He had the same pace all throughout those rounds. And Reece Smith at the end was like, what do I have to do to put this guy down?
And he's a partner
absolutely.
from the blue corner.
A lot of respect
by
for
Media's
Gary.
Inc. Here he is, Matrix MMA head coach. Excellent BJJ long-range striker. Introducing Faruk Medjedovic.
Another spring chicken in this match, Mike. Faruk has been one of the pioneers in SA MMA. He's trained the likes of Josh Frank, Venice, a lot of top-class fighters. He's been quite active in the BJJ scene for the past 10 years, hasn't had an amateur fight in quite a long time. He's really just kept his trainer's hat on for quite some time. He's a brown belt in BJJ, been doing martial arts for over 16 years. He's a run-up in the grappling industry as the heavyweight. He lost to Dan Curry, who's also in this show.
He's the main event.
Main event. Focuses most of his time on coaching, and he's spent a lot of his time between Matrix MMA as his gym and also Cardio Flex, trying to really hone his craft. This is something that I'm expecting it to be an on-the-feet outdoor brawl, but the second it goes to the ground, is Faruk going to have the edge on him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, no disrespect to Gary, he's done a lot of training and done a lot of things, but when it comes to ground fighting, Faruk is one of the best guys out of this state. Faruk was actually my first ever jiu-jitsu competition opponent, so he goes back as far as I do. He hasn't gotten to his black belt yet, but he's been training just as long as me. So, you know, I have immense respect for his jiu-jitsu. He's also, I mean, his win as an amateur many years ago in MMA was when he TKO'd the dude. Like, he's got heavy hands, and I mean, you look at his frame, you look at his physique, he doesn't look like a typical heavyweight.
Here come the heavyweights, don't blink, in charge of the action. The round rings is also UFC referee Mr. Steve Percival. Coming up, 3-3s in the heavyweight, Smith and Medjedovic.
When you look at the corner of
And
Medjedovic,
making a debut in the ring tonight also, please give a round of applause for Montana.
he's got Solchak, he's got Venice. Solchak was one of the
Like I
former European karate champions of Venice. Has a long history in boxing, so expect him to be very fresh in his hands. But
Thank you,
Gary is a
Montana.
person that wants to stand up and wants to trade, and there's a lot of people that do not want to stand up with Gary Smith.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very interesting. This is another case, we've seen this quite a few times in the DFC cage, of a coach that just went, no, you know what, I'm going to do it. So he's the head coach out of Matrix MMA, and it's going to be interesting to see, when you're the head coach and you're fighting, I always wonder what the voices behind you, how much they can offer, and and how much your corner play into the fight as well.
Medjedovic is just stalking, not moving to the center of the cage.
He's very, very long. He's very tall as well. So this is a really difficult sort of puzzle that Gary's going to have to solve. How to step in, how to throw hands, but not offer a takedown. But I believe Gary's actually a very solid wrestler as well. He's going to need that wrestling to keep it on the feet.
Both very calm, very collected.
Yeah, Faruk just getting used to throwing that jab out there. It's been many years since he competed, so, you know, it's almost like he'd go through those first time jitters again, at least a little bit. Light little kick, they're really sort of just feinting, filling each other out. At heavyweight, you can't really afford to eat a loose shot. I really do wish that Faruk's right hand was a little bit higher. I feel like he's dropping that, and that's going to offer as an opening, a target for Gary.
Just expect a big overhand left coming if he keeps dropping that.
I don't know about an overhand left, but even just a normal left hook, tight left hook. When he steps in, he can throw the right straight as an entry, and then throw that left hook, or he can, you know, throw out a few light jabs and then just pull a hook straight behind it, so that the jabs pull that right hand out in front of him, just sort of like what you're seeing here, and then you throw the left hook right behind it.
Still filling each other out.
Yeah, but you can see Gary's getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Every one of his punches, he's just sort of gauging where it is and sort of bringing it closer to the target.
Keeping a low base, wary of Faruk's takedown skills.
Well, not even that, but Faruk is doing an excellent job of using his jab. He's letting him come into jab range, come into jab range, and then using it just to sort of get him to poke his head up, try and, you know, punch him in the nose so that he lifts his head, and then you can see that right hand is primed again. So Faruk's ready to throw that straight down the pipe. There's that left hook though. I think Gary may be just sort of seeing how Faruk responds to it. Nice little jab.
Still stalking. Both incredibly wary of each other's power. I mean, these guys have one punch knockouts in either fist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get hit by.
Oh!
Boom! That right hand. Oh, Gary's rocked. But Gary's got his feet back under him. You can see he's moving his feet in an educated way, but it's lit a fire under him. Faruk trying to land that straight right again. Nice little left hook at the end. That little left hook after pulling it forward, that was really nice.
I think that little flurry there might have been enough to steal the round for Faruk.
Yeah, I would comfortably say that was probably a 10-9 for Faruk,
There it is.
especially with that punch.
Nice little short right, land a couple.
And that's exactly what Faruk was waiting for that entire time. Use the jab, keep
And
the distance
around
when he
number
tries to walk in, or when he pops his head up, you can throw that right down the pipe.
Really shows Gary's boxing record and boxing skills. Really getting hit and making the circle off, really make sure he recovered. Keep his hands up, circle off.
Yeah, it was a very educated response. It didn't take him long. He sort of folded back for a second, and then as soon as his wits were about him again, just immediately straight back to all systems normal.
Is that demoralising sometimes when you land a good punch up a flurry and some guy just seems to circle off and seem to shake it off quite quickly?
You're asking a grappler. if I land a good punch, I'm taking him down.
You've landed plenty of good punches with me in training before.
No, that's true, that's true. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily something that's going to bother Faruk. I think it's actually going to give him confidence that his game plan was working. It's really about how Gary responds to this. Now, a question I've raised about Gary in the past is he seems to be very stubborn with his game plans. So against Reece Smith, when he was getting kicked in the leg 2 billion times, his game plan didn't change. It didn't change. He didn't have an opportunity to change his game plan against Brando though. So it'll be interesting to see how he changes things right now. Using a little bit more head movement. You can see the lean back and forward to the hips, but he's dropping his hands again. It's that lead left that he keeps dropping that hand and Faruk's just watching it. That nice little left hook there. maybe he's trying to lull Faruk into throwing that right hand so that he can throw left hook over the top. I think he does look a little bit more hesitant this time. He's sort of leaning back onto his rear leg. He's surfing back, and he's surfing away from the power hand this time. Now he's surfing back into it. Yeah, he's feigning, and he's almost hesitant to step in. He's almost closing his eyes and leaning backwards whenever that right hand's coming forward. So I do think that right hand has put the wind up in a little bit.
We definitely did not expect to see this go into the second.
No, we didn't. But I mean, both guys have so many years of training in martial arts that, like you said, even if something bad does happen to you, you just go back to your training. Go back to your training.
Switch stance by Faruk then.
Yeah, just changing up the distance. Faruk doing a much better job keeping his hands up this time too.
About to say it, stole the words out of my mouth. Still stalking though. Still predatorial-like in his way, Faruk.
I'm actually surprised there's not more aggression from Gary here. Ooh, nice little left jab, just flicking it out. Never underestimate a jab at heavyweight. Oh, that right hook had bad intentions. Oh, it's hurt him. He's backed right up to that cage. Gary using that sort of drunken or like that monkey style boxing to put his hands straight onto his head. And the thing is, Faruk's just throwing straight through it. He's just punching him in. It doesn't matter if it hits his guard, it's hitting him in the skull.
A heavy left mouse under Gary Smith's left eye. That jab is finding a home right now for Faruk.
The last thing that Gary wants is to start losing vision of where that right hand is. Oh, good patience there. Waited in the pocket and threw that left hand over the top. Nice little feint. Big right kick, but big right hand to follow it. Woo! You can see it.
There was some heavy shots that brushed past on both fighters there.
There were, but you could visibly see the frustration on Gary's face. When he walked away, when that horn went, you could see he's frustrated and he's not sure what the answer here is.
If you're Kim Robinson and Nick Edwards in Gary Smith's corner, what are you saying apart from come out swinging this last round?
I do think he needs to go out on his shield a little bit. I think the key to victory for him right now is to take a risk because he can't win without taking a risk. I've talked about this. It's really it's something that I feel like a lot of fighters lose sight of when they're in a cage. Sometimes, especially if you're down on a decision, you need to take a risk and sell out in order to find an opportunity to win. He can't keep going like he's been going, and so I would assume that Kim Robinson, the veteran that he is, has gone in there and told him, you need to bang. You need to bang, you need to just accept what's going to happen. Either that or maybe change it up, take him down and try and ground and pound him. Because, I mean, we've talked about how good Faruk is on the ground.
Oh, heavy leg kick. Gary's going to be under his bonnet now.
Yeah, like I said, he's going to come out and try and put the pressure on. Nice kick again. Spins Faruk. But Faruk's not even really tired here. You can see it. He's in great conditioning, ready to go. Nice kick again, but he's getting... that right hand went straight...
Oh, heavy shots landed.
Yeah, we need to see Gary move. Gary needs to move. No, it's done.
Faruk Medjedovic, first victory in almost a decade.
Wow, that was...
Wow, those were heavy hands.
Yes,
We're thrown with malicious intention.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no bad blood between the two boys, but yeah, when you've got a dude backed up to the cage just covering and you just throw him down the pipe, it actually reminded me very much of a classic Tito Ortiz and Liddell, yeah. And obviously this didn't go to the point where Gary dropped to the floor, but...
I mean, there wasn't too many shots going through. There was about 2 or 3 that came at the end, but you saw that wasn't moving. Faruk was not going to stop. He was changing left, right, uppercut, and good stoppage by Percival. Especially in amateurs. It's something where you want to make sure, like we said in last fight, to live to fight again another day.
Yeah, I mean, your record at amateur, it's important, but it's not going to make or break the difference between you ever making it to the UFC. You know, you could go 0 and 195 as long as you don't take the brain damage. And then if you get, 12 fights in a row, you get all wins, you get a call by the UFC.
I mean, don't let Gary Smith's record fool you. He has fought some of the toughest guys in Australia.
Yeah, and he said no to absolutely no one. You can hear the hometown going mental for Faruk.
Round one. Warm up. It's good to be back. Well, Gary, you know the two fingers. Now, 120 kilos plus. You know he's going to take one shot. So the caution is very warranted. But until you find the range, hasn't been.
This fell to my coach.
I love going around.
Thanks very much. He helped me out a lot this camp with his striking, and he's with Damien Finesse Nutrition helped me out with. I was like hit a brick wall. She put me on the right track. Thanks to my brothers that come from interstate, Hugo, Babic. Thanks, brother. I just want to thank the Bosnian club for all the support, letting us run our club. All the boys at Matrix. Cars and Killers for my killer shorts. Thanks, bro. Want to thank Cardio Flex for all my sparring. Thanks, heaps.
And at GFC8, I mean, this is the best show in the nation, don't you think?
Yeah, grateful to be put on this show and really appreciative. Who else got to thank?
Jesus.
Well, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Faruk Medjedovic, come on, give it up for him. Yes! Yes! Thank you so much for a good performance, buddy. That was tough for him, you know what I'm saying? But how do you feel? Anybody you want to thank?
I'm happy because I look prettier right now. So
You're pretty.
But no, I come here to throw down, you know what I mean? I come here to fight. If I get my hand raised, it's a bonus, you know what I mean? I'm in here for the journey. I'm 40 years old. I want to get the most out.
Come on, give it up for the 40s, y'all. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for today, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Give the boys a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Yep.
Great showing by two of the state's best heavyweights.